Pretty good, actually. I've been chilling.
That's awesome. Looks like the North is going to be needing a new mayor soon. That's going to be interesting.
You know what I did yesterday?
What did you... what did you do? I want to hear it.
I knew about this already, right? So as soon as it got posted, I knew it got posted, right? And so it happened to be when the PD meeting was, and it was a joint meeting. And I went up there and said, I'm running for mayor of the North.
Oh my God, please. How did people react to that?
Oh my God, they couldn't say anything. And then you know, Dr. Perry Watson, I proposed to her, like it's a joke. Like she was in on it. And it was just, and then Turner walks up to me and he goes, did you do that because of Moss? And I'm like, nope, I did it because she's got power and commissioner. And he just chuckles and walks away.
Oh my God, that is so good.
Yeah.
I was calling to ask you about the situation up north with MOPC, if you know anything, because material prices are freaking wild.
What are the prices right now?
We're talking 11 and 12 is when I've been asking people for materials.
I think that's been the going rate, but my understanding is that's been the going rate for a minute. But that's only what I've been told. For MOPC in the North, I have no idea. So the issue is Mumbles was actually quite great. Easy to work with, had his head on, had his, head on straight.
He had his priorities straight.
Hey, thank you. Yes, that's a great way to put it. The thing is, he's gone now. And so, I just don't know. Like, did he ever talk about what the plans were for MOPC?
Not as far as I know. It's like for a time the North was included in MOPC and then it wasn't. And
really?
It's like, I don't know what the situation is because I'd really like to get materials, but I haven't been working Mosley's for a while.
So it should have never been available to the North. And I think it was for a very, very short period of time. But I think there was like a place in Polito that used to do it. But that was actually not supposed to happen. So,
I think we'd actually talked about this during a cabinet meeting. That's why I was wondering.
Yeah, it was one of those things where, like, things happened and, that shouldn't have happened. And I had to put a stop to it. Not for any other reason other than we can't legally do it, right? We'd be subverting resources meant for Los Santos County to up north. That's not that those doors can't be open. In fact, unfortunately, you know what it is, Carola? It's like I can only lead the whole like saying about leading the horse to water.
But you can't make him drink.
Yeah. The problem is it's not even a horse. The problem is it's a fucking donkey every time, right? So, you know what I'm saying? So instead of drinking, Nino, the thing's just shitting all over the place.
Can you just run for the North and be mayor of North and South? Fix this shit for us, please. Is there anything in the Constitution that says that you can't?
It's all jokes for me. There's moments where I'm considering it, but I also am very tired. You know what I mean? It's been like,
I know.
It's nearing the end of 9 months, and I'll tell you my actual fear is, it's kind of there's a dualistic problem I'm facing. The first is the bit of my brain that has a bit of like savior complexity, right? I see these problems. I spoke to a lot of people yesterday, just telling them about the joke and then saying, you should do it. And thinking to myself, well, maybe there should be a unity government, and maybe that can allow things to move extremely quick, right? In terms of state changes. and subvert some stuff. The problem is transparently, the DOJ has worn me down.
Yeah, I get it. I was sick. I didn't see it for not even a quarter of what you saw it. And when I was still in the cabinet and you mentioned that the same shit was happening again, I was just like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, it's just the latest was like, I told them that they can't just ban jump boots because like they think it only comes from the cargo ship. Not only is that weird as fuck, but like they have no authority to just be randomly coming up with new laws. That's what legislation is. So I push something, they move it to the state, and I'm not even convinced they told the state yet. So it's kind of like that, right? Is they're playing God, and it's even gotten worse where now I'm dealing with a situation where, you know, these auctions that they did, the DOJ auction, they changed the rules in the last second to let a judge win. So the judge won their own auction.
What the fuck? The judge shouldn't even be able to be in the auction.
Exactly. So I look at stuff like that and I'm like, you know what? I actually kind of think that the best solution might be that everything burns. So it's built back up from the ashes. So it's that kind of thing, right? It's like, yeah, I could be mayor of both, but conceivably, if I actually ran, right, I would unify the budget for both counties, and I would have both police departments managed separately. And what I mean by that is because the mayor means something different to people than it does to the PD, so separating those things out.
Makes sense.
But like I said, it's a mix of like, I feel like I'm just gonna I'm gonna get really excited because we can make change, and then I'm gonna deal with like, you know, elementary school bullshit, you know?
Yeah, and then reality in the shape of DOJ yelling and screaming is gonna bite you in the ass, and
precisely
it's gonna be depressing.
Yeah, exactly that.
Fuck. It's just the thing is that the North, Pred wasn't allowed to do anything. Andy, I don't know what she did or didn't do. And then now, you know, Mumbles had to leave. It's like there hasn't been a mayor up here, a decent mayor, ever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because nobody's had no other mayors had the organization you've had, that you've had a cabinet around you to help you get shit done, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, the North is like, it's messed up here, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it really is. I think a lot. I'm going to put some serious consideration behind it. But like I'm less than 50% on doing it.
Don't like.
Yeah.
I would have loved, you know, that's why I even mentioned it, the idea of you being mayor North and South, but you know what? It's probably going to end up burning you out. And
yes.
I think it's time you just finish your term and enjoy yourself.
I agree.
And do whatever the hell it is that you want to do.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. I think you've saved this island, you've saved the city enough. It's Nino time. Yep.
When your time is up as mayor. Don't you think? So you can have some fun?
I think you're right. Well, I will do what I can. Who's in regards to material, who's what
specifically
entity?
Carnage Motor Shop.
Okay.
Carnage Repair Shop, I mean.
I don't know why they're not doing MOPC, and actually I was thinking about this morning. There's been a lot of like, we have no money. They have $30 million.
Who?
Blaine County.
Well, I mean, at this moment, we don't have anyone to use it for anything. Unless, like, I don't know if Princess Elena is going to be put in as a temp. I don't know what's going to happen.
No, it's an election.
This.
Yeah.
And when are the? Do
I
they
will
have a date
say
for the
that I am
election?
concerned with her winning. Oh yeah. Wait, do you not have some of the tea?
Hey, I left the cabinet and I haven't
shit.
gotten any tea from anyone. You said you were going to try and call me at some point. You never called me, so I'm ready
I
to
am
sip
so
the tea.
sorry. So she's actively working against the PD and for the PD simultaneously. And what does that mean is, how do I put this? You know, she was pro-Pred, right, originally?
Mm-hmm.
She went against all his philosophies almost immediately. I mean, more than Mumbles. And so that's what I was first like, this person's two-faced as shit, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they're up or down. So I was kind of like, you know, eyebrows up. Well, then we find out, you know, this whole, like, plague that's been going around?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that it was very clearly sensitive information from day one, to the extent that we got dossiers that would make it exceptionally illegal if we went and dispersed that information. We could let people know on like sort of like bits of need to know basis, but there was certain sections that we could not even mention, right? Fair enough. Times have changed, right, recently, where we can talk more openly about it. But not even a day went by and we're finding out that she's in the midst of garnering information and then telling other people about it, information. She's refusing to give it to any authorities. And, like, you know, say what you want about, like, you know, how you feel about cops. Like, I'm not a, you know, a lot of them are fucking bozos. But, like, if it's like end of times type shit, you can't be playing games with that, right? So
I'd heard rumors that she had like dossiers, or like she had her own filing cabinet, so to speak. But
she was playing detective. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so I would hear her tell me these things and I'd just be like, Lord have mercy. Marshals are pissed. DOJ's been pissed. You know, this is aside from her being very, I don't really know what her political position is. It kind of changes who she's talking to.
I just think she wants power, but and tries any way she can to get it. I mean, she came into the city and I think she married Dundee to become the princess of Vespucci or some crazy shit like that, if I remember correctly.
Well,
there was something weird there with her and Dundee, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I don't know. She seemed really flaky at first, and then I saw that she was like claiming to be the princess of Vespucci, and somebody told me she'd married Dundee. I was
that
like,
is
okay. And then Dundee went on sabbatical or wherever he went, back to Australia for a bit, and all of a sudden I see her, you know, hanging around Pred and all of this, and I'm just like, okay, so now she's a politician. Sounds like somebody wants power in any way they can get it. So I don't know. That's just my impression.
Yeah, for me, it's more. It's. I agree. I think for me, it's the not knowing what they stand for is more concerning, right? Because
she probably stands for herself. The question is, what does she, you know, what does she want? What is she trying to get at?
Yeah.
Because she seemed to be working pretty hard with Mumbles and everything else. But yeah, I don't know. I have no clue.
Well, for me, the biggest thing is if her own husband didn't put her up as the interim, that's a pretty big red flag.
Here's the thing. Her husband wasn't going to put her, or at, you mean Mumbles, her second husband?
Yeah. That's the thing that kind of like is a red flag, because like, why didn't he appoint her? Right?
Did he have, was she at least appointed as, what is it, second in command? I was going to say vice mayor, but that's not the word. Who did Mumbles appoint? Did he appoint anyone or was just him?
Nope. Not even for these meetings. As far as I'm aware, she came and says, I'm the deputy, and then, yeah.
Self-appointed herself as deputy.
Yeah. Well, not self-appointed, but more like, she was, like, I believe, one of three. Party, Princess, and her. And, like I said, that's kind of the more concerning bit, because when I think about it, like, rationally, if I needed to step down, I'd put Michael there to hold the line, right? And expect he's going to continue along the path. Given,
yeah, that's if you had to like mention someone, but at least the cabinet that I knew, we were all aligned. We all knew what was going on. We all knew what you wanted to do, and anybody could talk at any moment, you know, at a meeting or represent you. This guy had Party Hardy, who lives in a time where nothing happens. He lives in the time where time stands still. And Elena, that nobody knows anything really about.
Yeah.
Except that she's smart. We can't deny that she does not have a brain on her. We just don't know if she's using it for the right reasons.
Agreed. Yeah. God damn it. I mean, honestly, however the cards end up falling, they end up falling. I would recommend petitioning for something MOPC-esque. In fact, it may have gotten signed into law, but they never did anything with it.
I'll have to go check legislation down in the city and see if there's anything in there.
There may be. I will let you know, though, if I change my mind. I mean, you never know. I could wake up 2 hours from now, I might be inspired. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's take over San Andreas. But, you know, we'll see how things get chopped up.
Or at least wait until Michael comes back from vacation. I mean, when are the elections going to be?
They open up Wednesday. I think after till Wednesday.
Ah, shit. Michael's not going to be back.
No.
He's gone for a full week, right?
I could always email him. And the thing is, Michael's going to do what, like, he's going to be supportive regardless. But I will, maybe I'll fire him an email and be like, what do you think? I'm going to tell you something that I haven't told many people. And this is like keep it close until I actually make a decision. Mm-hmm. We're contemplating opening our real target, which I think we have a very small shot at, but I would live in regret if I didn't try, is pushing for a senator representative or a representative of the state. Something along those lines. In other words, a position aimed at ensuring that the legislative authorities do not cross boundaries and to act as an intermediary for the state for when state level interpretation is needed. Because the biggest challenge that our government has faced is the lack of any of proper legal knowledge and at least some semblance of neutrality, right?
Yeah, but that's probably going to have to be named by the government, by the governor himself.
Well, that's where I'm going to try to get.
Or an equivalent of, so people respect the position. I mean, come on. The governor himself came down, told the DOJ how shit was supposed to happen, and they didn't give a they didn't care, you know.
I think,
I mean,
I'm not too worried about that aspect of it, because what would be baked in there would be certain things necessary to ensure compliance. But
okay,
we're still sort of like workshopping it a bit, because the role, because I have to think of it from the perspective of like, what if we had any one of these entities take that position in the future? What could they end up doing with it? And we've already learned that the DOJ in the wrong hands is already fucking the worst thing that can happen. And so, you know, like I said, it's a workshop, but, you know, we'll see if it comes to fruition.
I don't know. It terrifies me that the wrong person be put in a position like that, Nino.
Yeah.
Because that would, I mean, two things that worry me. The wrong person in the position and maybe the right person who just is impossible to get a hold of, if you know what I mean. So.
True.
Because, I mean, there's been all sorts of positions that have been filled here. For example, we still don't really have that many. It took way too long to get the licenses for the helicopters done because, hey, we never saw the person in charge of that for civilians and so on and so forth. So it's like, yeah, we've got to, hopefully it'll be someone who can spare time to, study these things and everything else. I don't know. We'll see.
It's the reality that there needs people that are invested in San Andreas. That's kind of the theme, right? And I think it's one of the worst things with that the real problem in like Pred didn't have a chance, but the worst thing that happened was that those least invested in San Andreas took out one of the most invested individuals and sapped the energy from them. And we're still paying that toll to this day.
And it's really sad. I would have loved to see what Pred would have done. Because I don't know if I've been very fortunate or what. I've always had even when he was just a tow trucker 100 years ago, I had a great relationship with Pred. But everyone would always tell me what a horrible person he was. And I think people talking that way about him and thinking about his past and not giving him an opportunity is what really fucked everything up. And I think that's really sad.
There's, for some people, this is all they got, right? So when someone with, Pred's position, gives them a little bit of trouble, it hits. You know what I mean? So, it is, it's the catch-22 of San Andreas.
I think people take themselves a bit too seriously.
That's exactly it.
No, I mean, believe me, I've had people asking me, it's like, what do you mean you quit courts, you quit the cabinet? And I'm just like, I wanted to do something different with my life. Why is that so bad? but you were in the cabinet. And I'm just like, oh my fucking God, give me a break. It's like, don't take shit too seriously. Do what you honestly want to do.
Yeah, exactly
but
that. Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But like I said, I hope that's a very special person who'd need that job. Someone who's going to think about San Andreas and not think about themselves and their own glory and their own whatever you want to call it.
I agree.
Hopefully we'll find that person.
Yeah.
Or you'll find it, or the governor will find it, somebody, if that position actually happened.
Yeah, 1,000%. All right. Well, shit.
Well, good luck with all the crazy shit going on, Nino.
I appreciate it. Always a pleasure, Carola.
Nice talking to you. Take care.
You take care. Bye.
Bye.